Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's EJ Moreno and this is About Last Night, the show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. But I saw a movie like an hour ago now, and it is my review for Solo. Okay, so I'm doing another Mukbang movie review. I am so excited for this because Jeff is joining me again for another Mukbang. I promise he only has a limited amount of mayonnaise this time. It will not be a constant thing. I learned my lesson. We're actually doing a very interesting Mukbang. Something a little different. We're doing... Oh, the bag's ripped. Huh. Steak and Shake. Something a little fun, different. You have a history with Steak and Shake as well.
Yeah.
Twice. Two food places.
Two food places that I've worked for.
Alright.
I need to get a life.
Here is.
Onion rings. Those are mine. Those are mine. Those are mine.
You
oh
get
my
onion
God.
rings.
Yes.
I get cold fries. Chicken. I'm a chicken tender whore. Hot dog. Hot dog. Alright, so, ooh, I wish...
Mayonnaise.
Alrighty then. So this is our Mukbang movie review for Han Solo, also known as Solo, Star Wars story. That is the official title for this movie is Solo, a Han Solo story, blah, blah, blah. It should have just been called Lando's Amazing. Because, spoiler alert, Lando is the best part of this movie. The second Donald Glover gets on screen, you feel it.
Yeah. He breathes life into the movie.
The movie desperately needed him because before he got on screen, I was ready to go.
I was dozing off.
Yeah, truly.
I was drinking one of these.
He was drinking a Monster and dozing off. That is how fairly bland this movie is. Like, the first half is messy as hell. You have this little 8-armed alien that's his friend. There was a lot happening that I was just like, why?
I don't know. There was just too much going on. I don't even think I didn't even get much of Han's story, really. As much as just a bunch of pointless action scenes.
No. Yeah.
That's all it really was to me. For Han's side, at least.
Going into this, I would say lean a little bit this way when you're eating so you're not off camera, or you can lean more.
Well, I don't want to eat my mayonnaise hot dogs on camera because everyone's going to judge me. Alright.
L3. No, okay. So, before I was going into this movie, I was pretty genuinely kind of like, what's the plot of this movie? Mm-hmm. And everyone was just like, well, it's Han Solo's backstory. And I'm like, sure, whatever. What's the plot of this movie? What's the story? Opposite of what everyone said. There was like no Han backstory, and you get all of just the plot of this movie, which is a heist for this chemical, which is like hyperfuel, I believe. It's kind of like, it had a different name, but it was basically like hyperfuel, and it just made you super strong.
Worth a lot of money, which then in turn was going to be able to buy Han a ship that would be able to fulfill all of his dreams for him and his to-be lover, who turns out his to-be lover is not actually his lover. Spoiler alert.
Other than that spoiler, let's get this out of the way. This is going to be spoiler-filled. We just want to have a good meal and just talk about this movie with no limitations, no nothing. Kind of like we did with Infinity War. But unlike Infinity War, I did not like this movie as much. I do not by no means hate this movie. I would not see it again.
Nope.
I said that with Rogue One, and then once it came on TV, I kind of like peeped at it. But I don't know. Truly, this is to me. I always talk about this. This is the toughest kind of movie review because I don't love it, but I don't hate it. So how do you do a review like that? You're just like, okay.
You can point out the things that made the movie bearable.
Okay.
Again, Lando.
So let's talk about the best and worst things. One of my best things, I actually did not hate Alden Ehrenreich, whatever his name is, the new actor who is playing Han Solo, who is replacing the iconic Harrison Ford role. Look, I don't have any attachments to Han Solo. I didn't like him in the original franchise. It wasn't my thing. He's not my cup of tea. I kind of liked him in The Force Awakens, where he was like grumpy old man. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what I wanted from Han. This new actor is great. Mm-hmm. He really is one of the best parts of this movie. I never one part felt like he was trying to copy Harrison Ford, but he also still felt like Han Solo. I know that's going to be very odd, and I feel like a lot of fans aren't going to grab that, but I do think he made Han Solo his.
Yeah. He's definitely a more, like, immature, still finding his place in the galaxy Han Solo. Which is cool.
I think Han Solo's always been that. He's always been kind of the kid. But I do like what he did with this. I do think it's interesting, it's fresh, it's new. He was great. Now, some of the bad. A lot of the supporting cast wasn't that memorable. I will never remember Woody Harrelson's character's name. His mentor. Exactly. The girl from Game of Thrones is still the girl from Game of Thrones. I was hoping this would be her moment where I'm like, you are now this character.
Nope.
You are still
I didn't even know it was the girl from Game of Thrones.
First off, when you take away that blonde hair from Game of Thrones, looks nothing like herself.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I didn't like her in this movie. I thought she served a serviceable role, but I do happen to have a problem with some of the earlier Star Wars movies, and now this one. The girls are just there to be part of the male story.
Yeah.
She doesn't get her own story. Thandie Newton, who played Val at the very beginning, who was in the first heist, didn't get to play her own character.
Yeah.
She was just there for the service of another man. And I don't want to get on a feminist rant, that's not what this is about, but it does feel very odd going from movies like Rogue One with a female lead, the new Star Wars franchise with Force Awakens and Last Jedi. It feels weird to go back now. This is definitely my biggest gripe was, this was a story about a 20-something-year-old white male trying to find his place in the world. Take away the Star Wars elements, it is the typical story of a 20-year-old white man lost in the world, and it's so hard being him.
I mean, at least one female role made us laugh.
L3 is that bitch.
Yep.
She is...
Yep.
I mean, she's the type of female characters that we've been eating up recently. She is strong-willed, she's hilarious, she's her own character, her own person. Yes, she's attached to Lando, but, I don't know,
She doesn't need him.
Oh, no. She starts a revolution on her own. She frees... Oh my god, I love L3. I walked away with her, because I didn't love K2 my first time.
Really?
No, first time seeing Rogue One, I was just like, K2 was okay, it just felt like he was in a different movie. He was so funny. And the movie was very serious, so it was too much for me. She felt like she was in this movie. I loved her. I ended up liking K2 though. I will say, he felt like a Roger persona to me. He was a sassy, like, gay robot, and I was just, like, needing him. I loved him. Oh, how's your food been, by the way?
Well, it's almost all gone.
Wow.
So, delicious.
I have a whole chicken tender. I'm actually going to eat all my food this time. Shocking, I know.
Are you though?
No, not at all. I'm not going to finish like any of these fries. I'm confused because I don't know where to say. I don't know where I don't know where to go from here. I don't know if I'm a Star Wars fan.
I'm a Star Wars fan. I've never been a Han Solo fan.
Yes, that's true. And I feel like with these movies, every time I like one, we go back one.
Yeah.
I cannot get 2 steps ahead. I always go 1 step back.
Yeah.
This was I had my 1 step with Last Jedi. Now 1 step back with Han Solo. My biggest thing, when I like this movie, I like this movie. When I don't like it though, it's an exercise.
Yeah, you're falling asleep.
There
was a lot of scenes where it was like, was that necessary?
No.
Was that, did you need it?
Even when they try to do big epic moments, like when they're doing the infamous Kessel Run with I did it in 12 parsecs. That scene wasn't like a gag for me. I wasn't like,
Yeah. Meh. I mean, seeing the Millennium Falcon was cool.
Oh, I like how it looked. I thought it was great. Seeing it was fine. There was moments where I'm like, going through the motions, I'm like, that's cool, but I'm not like,
Yeah.
And that's kind of sad. Maybe I felt the same way during Infinity War when I saw the new Spider-Man suit. I was like, that's cool. Period.
Meh.
Oh my god. And that's what I'm missing from some of these movies. And that's odd that all this spectacle, all this money going into this movie.
And I'm not leaving shocked.
And I'm not leaving.
One moment shocked.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. One moment did shock me, but there was truly nothing that I'm like, I cannot wait to see that scene again. Mm-hmm. That was not one time in that movie I felt that way.
No.
And that's on the film's fault. I have expectations, but I don't know what to expect from this movie.
Especially when you think about Last Jedi, when they gave you the light speed scene.
Yeah.
Where that was a piece of film.
Yeah.
That's not. You say it all the time. You want to see that scene over and over.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was about to say, I see a lot of movies. I don't see a lot of films. This is a movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not a film. It's not going to change my life. It's fine. And we're going to dive into some more spoiler stuff after I restart the camera. Show you Lando. Kylo. Lando. Look at that outfit. I was scared we weren't going to see this outfit in the movie. And then we saw that was the ending outfit. Mm-hmm. And then the Queen. I can't believe
I get you anything?
Equal rights! What an actual badass queen. Alright. So we're gonna jump more into... We kind of did our first thoughts there. That was our first, our brain just exploded out whatever we thought of this movie. Mm-hmm. What is your best and worst moments? Give me one best moment and one worst moment.
I don't have a best moment. This is a very... It was really... Like I said, man, a lot of the times it was like, I'm watching a movie. It's an alright movie. Cool. I've told a lot of my friends, Han Solo was alright. If you're a fan of the franchise, definitely go check it out. If you're someone that kind of just, peeks in, I definitely wouldn't tell you to go peek into this one because there's nothing in this where it's like, oh my god, worth going to check out.
No, this isn't where I felt The Last Jedi was accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
Even if you don't follow the stories, it felt fun. This was a lot of jokes that you needed to know. I'm going to tap
the dice. From the opening scene when he puts the dice on the dashboard.
This was a lot. This was a movie based on fan service.
Yep.
And I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of fan service. Okay, but no, give me one definitive moment that you will always... It could be L3.
Get your presumptuous ass out of my seat.
It could be...
L3 was really cool, but that's because she was really she was funny. But she was funny in a way where it was it fit in the movie. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like where Marvel a lot of times where it felt forced. Don't look at me. I can't perform. I can feel you looking at me. It was one of those... She was just good.
I've heard a lot about this actress going in. I believe her name is Phoebe something. She has a lot of hype going in. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, don't get lost in a robot. I was worried for her. She did great.
It's sad when that robot had more acting potential, more acting than half of the cast. She showed more emotion as a robot than half of the cast that was on that screen.
You are not lying. And that's sad.
Yeah.
This is not a strong acting group. Especially as soon as Donald Glover gets on screen, I feel bad for the other actors in the movie.
Yeah.
And I know he has a lot of hype going around, and I know I almost get worried about hyping him up so much that there's going to be fan backlash. That people are like, oh, everyone's hyping him up, let's go against him. But truly, he oozes charisma. RuPaul's Drag Race talks about charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. He has all of it. Donald Glover and Lando. Donald Glover is charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and he brought that to Lando.
This isn't queer critique, CJ.
I know this isn't my gay review show, I can't get too gay. But truly, that's what he, to me, embodies. Yeah. That is what him as an actor and him as a character gave me.
And I think they talked about that in the movie itself.
Like what?
I think they talked about how he has a certain charisma about him. I'm pretty sure the Daenerys, the girl who played that, talked about that. So
yeah, he has a swagger to him.
Yeah.
100%. He is what the word swag is about.
Yeah.
And it's just how he delivers lines. It's how he acts. Lando, to me, is the best part of this movie. A lot of people are going to be saying that walking away from this, is that Lando is what we needed. He's what we needed and what we wanted in this movie.
Yep. Him and Han going back and forth.
Not enough of that, though.
No. not nearly enough.
No.
Thank God it was in the closing scenes at least. Thank God.
That's a big rule for me with a movie, is I want to walk away from this movie with the best feeling. If something really shitty happened in the second act, if there's 30 minutes that pass and the rest of that 30 minutes has made me leave the theater happy, that's why I can praise this a little bit more. I left the theater happier than I would have 15 minutes before that end last scene.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. I think that's a big rule. Send him home happy. I think that's what Marvel has perfected with that end credit scene. Is because you get to leave happy. Oh, please eat some of my fries.
Okay.
I left happy. And that's hard to do. As much as I had some negative feelings about some things, when I left happy, I left happy.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not going to see this again. I don't have too much glowing positive things to say. Okay, so my worst part of this movie is the action scenes just kind of went paint by numbers. And this is the moment where we all get cool. And this is the moment where we all struggle.
I think my worst part was just the whole scene where they were cutting through the maelstrom. It just felt pointless. There was legitimately no point in that last 20-25 minutes.
And that was what's supposed to be the big thing of that. That's the Kessel Run. That's, you know,
What
they
made
hinted
Han
about
Han.
it in the beginning, in the first original film.
Yeah. So, and that's what upset me was this is what made Han Solo such a badass, and it was boring. It was lame.
This is definitely seeing the behind the scenes of Han Solo. He's not as much of a badass as he made himself out to be, which makes his character to me more interesting, that he was able to sell himself. But now seeing it, it's like when a friend hypes up that their new boyfriend or girlfriend and they're like, oh my god, I can't wait till you meet them. And you meet them, you're like,
Where is it?
but where? That's what this felt like, was like, now that I got to see him, that all this bragging he's done,
Yep.
oh, or that hookup, I'm gonna blow your socks off. Okay. But where was
My
that?
socks are still on.
My socks are
My
still
shoes
on.
are still on.
Bitch, like, my clothes weren't even fucking ripped off me.
Yeah.
That's what this I didn't have that. Oh, that's what that was like, see it, bam, and I'm like, that's it.
Yep.
And that's how I feel with the Solo now, where I'm like, that was it? That's all you've been hyping up to me? Like I said, the movie's not bad, but as a character, I don't have this...
I mean, as I said last night when I was playing Battlefront 2, when you look at the good side and all of the guys they have, and you look at the bad sad, you ask yourself, why are the good guys still winning?
That's why I've been a Kylo Ren fan since The Force Awakens. Because it's the first time that I'm like a bad guy with more layers. Because even the bad guys, as cool as they look, they're fucking boring. Vader is boring. That one scene in Rogue One made us forget Vader's boring. I know Star Wars fans, crucify me later in the comments, but I've always found Vader to be boring. I found the Emperor to have more personality.
You know who else a lot of people found kind of boring?
Who?
Darth Maul.
That's your best moment of this movie.
Yeah.
So, I said it again, I'll say it. Spoilers. Spoilers right now especially. The big shock moment of this movie was Darth Maul's return into the main franchise. He's been in an extended universe, he's been in an animated series, but he's returned to the main Star Wars movies.
Yep.
And that was truly, though in my theater, I didn't hear a lot of, oh! We did it. And I saw TM, who's a critic in front of us, like straighten up his back. He was very like, ooh.
Yeah.
But it was a shocking moment, but then as soon as it settled, I was just like...
I think a problem, though, if you look at a lot of the people, because in the theater there was a lot of, the critics were older.
Yes.
But a lot of the fans were younger. I don't think a lot of fans knew who Maul was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a problem was, if you ask the older people like me who grew up in the 90s, who watched Phantom Menace, who watched the Extended Universe, who play Star Wars, Maul's a big deal. A lot of the newer Star Wars people who came up with Kylo as their main villain, they have no freaking idea.
Or the
Maul
older
is.
generation has such a hate-filled spite for those original prequels that if you are from those prequels, you can go to hell.
Yep.
Though Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan has always been well loved, and Darth Maul has his niche following. But it just felt like a lot of people were like, oh, Maul.
Yeah.
I was expecting Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I think Boba Fett is an iconic name. He's from the Han Solo era.
Yep.
Darth Maul would have fit into a different movie. As great as he was, it was like, I guess.
Like I said, I think in the next one, Boba Fett will show up. He has to.
I want Boba Fett so bad. I need his character to be redeemed, as they're trying to do with Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Boba Fett needed it before Maul did.
Yeah.
Boba Fett has like 40 years of needing it. He got ate up by like that one thing in the Sarlacc pit in that one movie, blah blah blah, and then it was like bye.
Yeah. I mean, it's also one of those things where if you put out Boba Fett, the fanboys can't make nearly as much fan theories now as you do with Maul.
Yes.
And you know how Star Wars loves to cater to their fanboys.
Not recently though.
But Han did.
Han did cater to the fanboys.
But Han
I'm curious
did.
to see the reaction now that all of them were like, "Oh, screw the Last Jedi, are going to be back for this." I feel that coming.
Yep.
And damn, you're right.
You know,
Ugh.
which is why I'm so glad that kind of like, all right, Han can cater to the fanboys. I still get Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, which
I hope that's what it is. Let's do these as the fanboy fan service stuff. Keep the main series for us. Ooh,
Because
excuse me, new fans who are excited.
because as they were saying in the theater, the mouse is gonna flex. He's getting his money no matter what.
Yeah. It's how I used to feel when I would hate WWE, but I would still watch that next pay-per-view.
Yep.
And now,
Now we don't even do that.
no. So that's what. If you really hate this franchise, you're gonna have to
You're gonna
boycott it because,
unsubscribe and you're gonna quit.
and it's not gonna happen for y'all.
No.
No, I don't see it. But I think this movie is going to attract people back in.
Only older fan base.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. Ow, fuck me. Like, his fight scene at the end compared to other fight scenes.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of the fight scenes you can't compare it to because a lot of them have lightsabers. They have little light daggers.
Okay, that is something I just thought of. There was not one lightsaber in this movie.
No.
I guess there wasn't any lightsabers in Rogue One either.
Vader?
Oh, yeah, God. I was... Other than that 5 seconds of that happening. Yeah, I guess it's interesting seeing Star Wars movies without these things we're kind of used to. And then, honestly, I didn't notice until now that there wasn't a lightsaber.
There wasn't a single lightsaber.
I was really upset with...
Yes, there was. Maul. Because he released his lightsaber for 5 seconds.
Oh, we did get the cool double-edged... God, do you remember the first time? I remember seeing that as a kid and being like...
Oh, he's dual wielding. Oh.
I would...
Yeah, because then I remember as a kid, the guys he were fighting, I can't remember who he was fighting.
He was fighting Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan.
That Qui-Gon Jinn I can never remember. When he split it down the middle and Maul's like, okay, I'm just going to start swinging with both of them. I don't care.
Poor Qui-Gon, no one remembers him. Liam Neeson played him though. Liam Neeson's from
I know who
Taken.
Liam Neeson is, but...
Oh, you said I don't know Liam.
I know who Liam is.
That's what you just gave me, I know her, but I don't know her.
Like...
Let me go through some of my notes as this goes with how I feel about the movie. Sometimes they're really well written, sometimes they're not. So, I felt this movie was super cliched.
Fanboy.
I felt it looked cheap. It didn't have this high gloss to it. And I usually like my movies like shot on film. Like, I like rough artsy movies sometimes. But this just looked not expensive.
I think to give defense, to play the devil's advocate, because they're going back in time.
Also, the theater we were in wasn't that great.
Also wasn't that great. But they're going back in time, so I think they were trying to cater to giving that old-time feel.
Okay.
If you remember how the 90s movies were shot, I think they were trying to give you that feeling of the 90s movies, because Han Solo was coming up in the 90s.
Okay.
So
okay.
I think that they were trying to give you that kind of feeling, because if you compare it to like The Last Jedi and how that was shot, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, playing devil's advocate.
Also, in my notes, I already said this, another lost white boy trying to find his place. I felt like Shuri in Black Panther. Another broken white boy for me to fix. That's how I felt watching this with Solo. I was like, another broken white boy we have to collectively fix as a...
Is that what Lando said?
That's what Lando said when he saw him, was like, I've already done this. I've already hooked up with one of you. Chewie and Han. Oh, we have not mentioned Chewbacca one goddamn time.
We don't need to mention
Chewbacca's amazing. He was great. I didn't love the first meeting of Han and Chewie. It wasn't like this... Once again, I wasn't shocked by it.
No.
Chewie whooped that ass, though. I always forget Chewie as like a Wookiee because we always get to see fun, nice Chewie sometimes, and like I forgot.
I wish it would have been more like Chewie is a beast, and the first meeting, I really wish it wouldn't have been 5 minutes and Chewie and him are best friends. That's what made me really upset.
That is, oh my god, I hate when movies do that, where I feel like off screen we missed all of the character development.
Yeah,
we missed them becoming best friends.
Because that was a main story of Han.
We even didn't get to see him name him Chewie. He was like, oh, Chewbacca's too big, and then all of a sudden he's like, Chewie, and I'm like,
yeah.
I
think it was during the shower scene. I think all of that just
yes, if you did not know, there was a shower scene between Han Solo and Chewie that was homoerotic. I know I'm gay and I read gay subtext and things, but I was just like...
The furry community will rejoice.
Oh, yes. It was very like, if Han would have dropped the soap, Lord... but yes, that's what it felt like. Let's see. The yacht, which is cool, which is where Paul Bettany, the villain, was. He had the yacht. That's where we first met Emilia Clarke's character. Don't know her real name. Chewie, he's relatable. You, so many times during the movie, would look at me and be like, me.
Me.
And that's what Chewie is to me, is he's very like, me. Me. He's always like, sassy.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
He is...
Why?
Yes. Let's see, I'm trying to go through L3, equal rights.
Explanation point.
L3 is just L3, like, started a revolution! She was amazing. I don't remember watching the original ones and being like, I love C-3PO.
Well, that's because R2-D2 overshadowed him.
Yes. Okay, never mind, I guess I do love BB-8. I love BB-9E a lot.
I was like,
well.
what about BB-9E?
BB-9E. If I would have got him more in The Last Jedi, he would be my favorite droid. Lando has a closet full of just capes.
That's exclusive!
Lando, God, so many great lines from him. He would be the one, if I would rewatch this, I would fast forward just for all the great Lando scenes. Or when this gets uploaded on YouTube, and you know how this is, when you could just watch scenes from a movie.
All of the Lando scenes.
I will
Contemplation of all the Lando scenes.
I just gave you, some YouTuber, we just gave you a video idea there. Yes, so L3 dies in this movie, and to me the second she died in the movie, and...
I was upset.
Lando gave me great acting, I was upset, so I had an emotion, but also the air got sucked out of the room.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, my favorite character's gone.
Whoa, movie's over.
Yeah. From there, I kind of checked out, and that's where they did the scene that you didn't like when they were trying to go through the squid monster thing.
Cool thing that she's integrated into the Millennium Falcon, and cool thing that she's forever
I didn't get
apart.
to see her speak.
Yeah. Also, why is it that we're just now finding out about that now when Millennium Falcon's been a part of it?
Yes, all this fun retconning that we have to do now.
Yeah.
Gasp, Woody Harrelson's character was bad.
Who?
Woody Harrelson, he was the mentor. Tobias Beckett, I think. That's probably the only time I remember his name was Tobias.
Beckett.
Yeah, Tobias and then Beckett, because I remember them saying it. He was bad. Shocker.
Not even that great of a bad guy either.
No. Woody Harrelson's a cool actor. I like him. He's kind of like cool stoner bro. He was cool. He was fine, but his turn was very... I did think it was going to be Lando. Because that was kind of... that was an homage to the first movie where Lando ended up being bad, but not really. I thought they were going to do something there. No, Darth Maul was the last note I wrote, because after Darth Maul happened, the movie is over, basically. Even though there's still stuff after, don't care. They did do a play on Han shot first. So yeah, let's kind of start wrapping this up. We're gonna eat Oreo, Reese's. Big cups.
Yeah, he apparently doesn't like...
Just too much peanut butter. I love...
Peanut butter.
So... final thoughts on Han Solo, A Star Wars Story. You want me to go first or you?
You can go first. Ladies first.
Okay, that was good. I don't usually rate movies out of 10. Out of 10, though. This movie is a...
expect hate comments.
It's a solid 6. 6.5, 7. I would literally go highest at a 7.
Yeah.
That was an average...
because of Lando.
That's... Donald Glover is a point all of himself. I did not hate Han Solo, and I expected to not like his character at all.
Yeah.
I found him to be attractive. I found him to be charming. Like, he had what he needed. So happy that I didn't hate him. All the work that has been worked on him, because allegedly he had an acting coach because he was doing really bad. Everyone hated him. He made up for that. I could not feel that on screen. So I would give this a good 6.5 out of 10. Those are my final thoughts. What are your final thoughts?
If you're a Star Wars fan, go check it out. I'm definitely excited to see now because of how they ended it. It opens up potential for a lot of different movies from here that don't necessarily have to focus around just Han Solo.
Yes.
So that's definitely exciting.
I can walk away saying I would maybe see the next Han Solo movie.
Yeah, I'll definitely go check out the next Star Wars story.
Yes. I'm happy they're doing these. I would love to see, once again we talked about this, if the Star Wars stories can save for the older fans, do the Obi-Wan, do the Lando movie, do the Yoda movie, do all these old characters, but then keep the main franchise moving forward. We need to keep progressing and moving forward. Sorry, I know nostalgia wins people over.
But it doesn't bring new fans in.
It doesn't bring new fans, and it also stifles your art. As soon as you start trying to homage the past, we forget about the future.
Yep.
And I want this franchise to keep going to the future.
You have an entire galaxy to explore.
Yes. Explore it. Give me new characters. Give me new things. That's why this extended universe was so big in Star Wars. That's why so many people ate up the video games. Knights of the Old Republic. The Grey Jedi. Like, stuff like this is what people want. Keep on going. I don't mind what they did with Solo. I want them to keep this up. I'm actually surprised I'm saying that. Just know...
Stop looking backwards. Keep going forward.
Yes, as Kylo Ren said, we have to let the past die.
Let it all die.
Let it all die. Oh, look at this little bobblehead. So cute. So...
You better give me some swish swish.
Oh,
Swish swish. Her thighs are so inaccurate in
no, let me tell you, this is what she looks like on here. She is thick. Like...
Your friend next to us, she a black girl.
My friend Marissa, who is a black woman, told me L3 is a black woman, and I believe her. Truly, the way she walked, the ass...
Swish, swish.
I've never loved a character like that. The second she spoke, I was like, and I love her. Like, she started messing, Lando was just like, oh god. And you felt that already. I love it. So, that is my Mukbang movie review for Solo, a Star Wars story. That title sucks. It's so long. I know. So, this is my review for Solo. I want you to, actually, I would say go check it out. Maybe not 100 times. Check it out once. If you're a big fan of it, check it out twice. Have fun with it. I'm encouraging people to go watch it. I'm not a big Hollywood movie fan. That's kind of been my anti-thing. But this movie was fun, and as I am, I can't deny a fun movie.
Yeah, it was fun, but not fun enough to go see it twice.
No, not fun enough.
Not fun enough to see it twice.
And that's it for this week's movie review. I'm so excited to do another About Last Night. Thank you so much for joining me. This will be a common thing. If you guys keep liking these, tell me you want more Jeff. Tell me you want more mukbangs. I'm excited for this. So please give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. Comment down below. I would love your thoughts. Spill the tea with me. Let's talk about this movie. Also, if you did enjoy this review, make sure you subscribe to my channel. That would be really awesome. If you are subscribed, turn on notifications because, I don't know, that's a thing people tell YouTubers to do.